Well, that's me drawing. But what am I drawing again? Well, it's going to be some Baki characters. Why Baki characters? Well, because the new series just came out on Netflix and I really love Baki series in general. Why? Well, it is really good if you want to learn how to draw human body and it is really good for anatomy purposes. With that out of the way, let's start drawing. Whom I'm drawing right now to be specific? Well, I'm drawing Hanma, but no, it's not Jack Hanma, it's not Yujiro Hanma, it's Yuichiro Hanma. For those who don't know, Yuichiro Hanma is supposed to be Baki's grandfather and Yuichiro's father. Yeah, I know the names kind of sound similar, but yeah, it is what it is. One of the most notable trait for Yuichiro Hanma is that his broad shoulders, like his really broad shoulders, and damn, those are really broad shoulders, and that really big puffed up chest. Like, damn, that's a really nice chest routine right there. If you want to copy, which includes, well, not limited to, but definitely including swinging humans as a nunchucks. You heard me right. Baki series is kind of nuts, and I really like that part of that. Anyway, the entire draw was rather simple. It is easy. There is no difficulty. To be specific, I would say I could have done a better job with face and the face structure and the placement of the lips. And there was a little disproportionalness in terms of how the shoulders were, but yeah. Other than that, I'm quite satisfied. Let's move on. Next up, if you have not caught up to the new Baki series, then spoilers ahead. But yeah, rest in peace, Tetsukayo. Also, you can skip up to this timestamp, but why not to listen the entire thing when I have partially spoiled everything anyways. So, the newer series, they are bringing back Miyamoto Musashi from the dead. Why are they doing that? I don't know. Oh, is Miyamoto Musashi OP? You better he is. What he is going to do? Let's just say he is going to dismember our favorite wife right there. Retsu. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So Retsu apparently, in order to show how overpowered Chinese Kenpo is, goes up and challenges Miyamoto Musashi himself. And the Lord of the Sea himself came along and tell him the secret of the Shaolin, which being a technique which can turn the person into feather, with the idea being no one can be so precise to be able to cut a very thin delicate feather. And Retsu mastered the technique within 5 attempts, like really overpowered that idea. Not only that, it is a match to do that, so which means weapons are allowed. And you know, if there are weapons and there is an ancient legend like Miyamoto Musashi, they are going to put some respect to the name, and they are not going to just let Miyamoto Musashi go down like that. Like, no. But if that was not enough, we can understand, like, yeah, Miyamoto Musashi is not going to lose that way, that quick in the series, but damn, they were setting some standard up right there. Miyamoto literally cut Retsu in half, then split his entire abdomen out. Like, his entire thing is flowing out, and that is rather gruesome to watch. So yeah, if you want to see the next season, you should really watch it. I will highly recommend that. But for now, this is how it is going to be, I guess. So yeah, it sucks for all of us. However, there is a silver lining, and I will be telling that in brief detail. But with that, let's start with the entire build, or I should say, the entire description of the sketch. Retsu, not difficult to draw. He is rather easy. The bloodstain were a little bit tricky to draw and build correctly, and the little difficulty which I do need to face is that I forgot the placement of the stump of his leg, so I accidentally drew them a little bit too large for this scene on the basis of perspective. The next mess up which I did was with the face of Miyamoto Musashi. I accidentally misplaced the nostrils, so I need to do a workaround. Unfortunately, in that moment, Miyamoto Musashi was actually bleeding from his nose. So I just did the most logical thing and covered the part with some blood. This is the final result, and I am rather satisfied. I could have done a bit better work with Miyamoto's face, but I guess I need to do something. Next up is just a rough sketch of Miyamoto Musashi and his fighting stance. Nothing too specific, nothing too crazy. It was really easy to draw. The difficult part was not actually his face, not his sword, but one, the folds in his clothes, and I'm really bad when it comes to draw the folding on the clothes. Perhaps that is why I really like to draw. Wait a sec. Perhaps that is why I really like to draw Baki characters, because most of the time they are not having that much of a clothing anyways. That is why drawing Yamato Musashi, the clothing was a bit difficult to draw, but surprisingly, the swords were also a bit difficult to draw. What do I mean by that? Well, if you have seen Japanese sword, they have a little guard sort of situation going on in them, in which there is a really tiny guard, and while depicting it, I accidentally messed up, and so the swords are getting a little bit camouflaged with the entire clothing, and the small guard, which is usually easy to see in the sword, is kind of difficult. But other than that, I'm actually rather satisfied. The folds in the clothing came out rather satisfyingly, and yeah, I need to flip the script because usually it's a very dark cloth with some really light shades where the folding need to be. I flipped that to a really dark spaces where the folds are, and the entire cloth is really light. So other than that, that being the changing color scheme, which is because of my color palette being limited to black, white, and gray. So yeah, that may explain that. Actually, that does explain everything. That why there is a certain change when there should be black clothes with light gray color folds. I instead drew black color folds with light gray color clothes. But yeah, I'm rather satisfied. I wish I could have drawn swords a little bit better, but this is the final result and I'm rather satisfied. And with that out of the way, let's just conclude this entire video. It was rather fun for me to sketch all these characters, and tell me in the comments who should I sketch next. I will see you all next time, and till the time, peace. Also make sure to drink that water of yours, okay?